uh, to answer your questions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna ask you next is, have you been following the lecture? Have you watched
Yeah.
the?
Yes,
You
sir. You
said
said
until
until
notepad,
notepad,
the
the
notepad
notepad
one.
one.
We had to
If
watch.
you speak one by one, I can hear you better.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying I
saying I
followed the
followed the
notes
notes
until the
until the
notepad
notepad,
tutorial, like the
like the
mock
mock
notepad
notepad.
tutorial.
Which tutorial?
The
The
one
one,
of the
the one we
on.
did last was it the notepad?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if do you guys have any questions to me? Like, do you want me to resolve any exercises or show you? Like, you can see my screen right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can see, for example, if I go to the Visual Studio now, you can see it on the screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I already explained some of the stuff in the sessions that I hold for you in the Moodle. So I'm gonna go to Moodle again and look at some of the stuff that we covered. And if you have any problems, you're gonna let me know. So from now on, just to explain it briefly, we're gonna hold up these sessions once or twice a week during the lecture hours. And I'm gonna basically be here to support you to education, okay? From now on, the education will go online, okay? Because obviously we cannot meet, and I don't want you to fall back just because of this virus thing, because if we postpone your education, that means you're going to postpone your graduation, and it means that you're going to stay in Cyprus more and more, maybe an extra year or so, and we don't want that. I don't want it. I want you to graduate on time, okay? So an alternative approach that we can follow right now is to continue the education online. And we have a lot of tools. As you can see, Zoom is a very good tool that I use. There's this big blue button thing that they installed on the Moodle system, but it's currently not very efficiently working. So I'm using Zoom right now. So we're gonna hold these video conferences, and I will also keep uploading videos on YouTube. So you will watch the videos on YouTube and come to the sessions and ask me questions, such as if something is not obvious, you didn't understand it, you want me to solve an extra exercise, stuff like this, and I'll solve it on my screen and you can see it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Sure.
Cool. The next thing that I would like to do is probably we're gonna do the exercises online and the quiz and exams online. So we will do at least one exam. I don't know when, okay? Because there is no official announcement from the rectorate office yet. There will be some exams scheduled, obviously, and when they announce it to me, I will announce it to you. But from now on, we will go mostly on exercise based.
Arkadaşlarım,
Okay?
bunları açmamış kameralarını. Bak.
Merve,
Heh, buradayım hocam.
you are interfering. Just can you please volume it down, please? Did you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do actually.
All right. Up to which point did you watch the videos? Have you watched the notepad exercise?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Multi windows almost on.
Almost done. Good. Do you have any questions to me? Is there anything you didn't understand up to there?
Radio button, sir.
Radio buttons. You didn't understand radio buttons.
Remember the radio button and check buttons.
Check buttons and radio buttons. Yeah?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just to show you briefly, I'm going to go into Visual Studio and I'm going to go into there. You see an empty form. I'm gonna start using the radio button so you can have an idea of how to use them. The first thing I'm gonna change in here is to change my
Hoca burada kapatmış.
radio button exercise.
Please stop interfering.
Can you please stop that WhatsApp, please? It's just that
Yeah,
it's
you have to shut it off, or you can close your microphone, please.
Yeah, please stop it, gentlemen. So what I'm gonna do is copy and paste a couple of radio buttons because it seems like some people have problems with this. And I like to use a group box to group my components, so I don't change the basically the layout individually, but rather than doing that, I like to group them. You can find a group box under containers, so I'm gonna drag and drop in here and just select them and put them into the group box. As you can see, when I put them into group box now and put them like this, when I go to the settings, properties of the group box, I can change the font and it will be affected completely. Like that. See, this is a little bit too big, maybe making it a little bit small. Yeah. And change the color. Yeah. Now that I'm happy about the group box itself, I'm going to change the values inside. I'm going to go and modify the group box name. Select your
I see that. My sweetheart. Yes. Show me your face.
And now I'm gonna change the values in here.
I'm doing class.
I'll call it visual programming. Computer networks.
But we didn't start. You know, programmers, computer this thing.
Can
you shut
So again, this thing is not good, like their internet or like something. The module, the extension is not good. You understand? So
Faisal. I'm gonna mute you now because you are making a lot of noise. Please make sure that you are listening, okay? Now that I'm happy about this, let me just change that one as well. Let's make it like, I don't know, database. The most important part about this is that you gotta name the buttons themselves, okay? This is the information in the buttons, but the buttons should also have some names, all right? Like radio button 1, radio button 2, and so forth. It's a terrible idea to leave it like this, so please give it a meaningful name, all right? Such as, I'm gonna name this as radio visual. So I'm gonna go down and find the radio button. Maybe that's radio visual. This one should be radio network. And that one should be radio database. Now, when you run the program, you should be able to see the buttons themselves. So before we type any code, let's just try to run the program itself, okay? So as you can see, I am browsing through the radio buttons themselves. I can see that I can select only one at a time. This is the property of radio buttons. Like you can only select one at a time. Now we know we're gonna create a button underneath this. So I'm gonna expand this list a little bit, the box, and put it at the corner. And I'm gonna take the toolbox and drag and drop a button. I'm gonna name this button. The default button usually on your form is called submit. That's like a design decision. Usually we put it submit there as the default button. And I'm gonna go up, change it to submit. Now that I did that, you can activate this button in a variety of ways. You can see that it now works there, but I just can't do any process yet. What we're gonna do now is to make sure that this program runs. To activate the button, you can either go to this lightning icon that you see next to it, just double click on this part to activate it, or you double click on the form component itself, which will go to the code part, okay? So once you have go into the code part, it means that what happens when you click on this button, what is gonna happen? That is the part that you have to deal with, okay? So you need to understand that this is an event-driven programming now. It's not a top-to-down programming, but it works based on user interactions. So as the user interact with the buttons, it selects one of these components. And if none of them are selected, you can also show a message. So I'm gonna go into there and put an if statement. So I'm gonna say that if radio button radio visual is checked, and you can put a not sign at the beginning just to indicate that this is not checked. Okay. And this one, as you see, we're gonna continue doing this. If it is not checked, I'm gonna put some brackets here. To fix the error, you can put the not sign there if it is checked, or to the beginning. It does not matter. If you can put the not sign, means that it is not checked. If the radio visual is not checked, or I'm gonna put the next one, just copy paste this. If the radio network is not checked, and also if, just gonna put this on the side, radio database is also not checked, and you still see the errors. It does not understand this symbol yet. I'm gonna take it to a bigger bracket to make sure that things will work for me. And when I do this, it actually stops generating the error. So once we have done this part, we're gonna go down and show a message box. The message box will tell us to basically select at least one of them. Like in this case, we have to select one of them because we can only select one. So I'm gonna say something like, please select a choice. So I'm gonna build up the solution and try to run the program to see how this is gonna work. And I will, when I click on it, it says, please select a choice. This is the part that you need to understand the difference between and or. When I put an and or an or, it means that in this case, if this is not selected, and this is not selected. It's not going to be or, it's going to be and. The reason is that you are taking up the all three conditions, okay? So if all three conditions are not satisfied, then you show the error message. When you put an or, it evaluates one of them. Hence, it was displaying me an information on the site that says like, okay, like even if I select, I see the message. Now to make this run, I'm gonna make a reset button. So I'm gonna go in here, go in there and change the properties. So I'm gonna go down on the text part, clear button. And we're gonna go down, button, clear. So to clear the buttons themselves, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. To clear the buttons themselves, I'm gonna make sure that their checked status is actually false. And I'll do that for every single one of them. So this is gonna be network, checked, false, and finally database, checked, false. Now, this is very interesting. Let's try to run this thing. So at the beginning, you see all these things are selected. So I don't see the message, but when I don't select any of them, now it will say, please select a choice. You see, it's working fine now. So you see none of these options are selected, and it will say, when I click, please select a choice. But when I select one of them and submit, I don't see the error message. And I can still clear the buttons. When I press on it, you see, it clears the button. So we deal with the first validation part in the program. This part deals with clearing the button selection, and this part makes sure that you are selecting at least one of them. So if the radio visual is checked, radio network is checked, and radio database checked, if they are not checked, please select a choice. Now you can simply put an else here and continue the rest of the program, because when you put an else, it means at least one of them is selected. And now you can detect which one is selected. You can go down and write another if statement. You can say something like this. If the radio database or visual is checked, I'm going to show the data now. I can say something like message box here and write your message. Your favorite class is visual programming. You can even omit the brackets because it's only one line. We can put an else here. Radio network checked. Message box show, and same kind of message, but the content will be different. Your favorite class is computer networks. And finally, we have one more, which is radio. What was it? The last one? Database. Message box. Show. Yeah. So when I do this part, you see that I am putting different messages for every circumstance. I'm going to build up the solution and run it, and let's see what it does this time. So I can clear the button, submit it, and it will say, please select a choice. And when I select a choice now and submit, it will say your favorite class is that class. You see, computer networks, it's database, and it's visual programming. Okay? Does that answer your question, gentlemen?
Listen.
Yes? You want me to share this code with you?
Yes, kindly.
Yeah, you kind of do, but you are not sure?
I wish to ask you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We want the code.
I'm going to copy paste this code on Moodle
Yes,
and you
sure.
can access it, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Any other questions? So let me just create
No,
another.
no.
So on the code,
I have a question.
Yes?
Besides the final exam, will there be any other type of assessment?
Uh, I am not informed about how the assessment will proceed, so I'm assuming I'm going to wait for it a little bit, okay? I'm going to wait
Okay.
for next week if there are going to be any assessments. So I'm going to see how the university will proceed. Right now, I'm trying to focus on delivering this education online, okay? That is my first concern. Because if you don't know anything, if I don't teach you anything, then how am I going to do the exam,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
my first focus is to deliver the course online. And it seems like it's working quite well so far. People can talk to me and people ask questions, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, not like
So,
the.
someone raised their
yes, sir.
hand. I see
Oh,
Salihu.
yeah, that was me, and you've answered the question already.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anyone else? Like you can
Yeah.
raise your hand from the list. I can see it.
My hand is raised.
Okay, cool. Tell me.
Yeah, sir. Okay, so how long do you think this online lecture is gonna be? Because
As long as it's necessary.
no, because for your own courses, for since yesterday I was having lectures, but yours that I've gotten is a quite bit easy and good. But yesterday on lectures it was really terrible, so I don't know how the school is gonna do about it. Like
Well,
you improvise, but other lecturers they can't improvise, so I don't know how it's gonna be.
well, we live in a technology age, gentlemen. We don't have to see each other to deliver my education. As you can see, there are tools available to us that we
Yeah.
can use, such as this one, and we can talk to each other. We can share our experiences. So there are always alternative ways to communicate. And I think my colleagues can also use tools like this, so to help you out. I agree that not every lecture will be very efficient, but I don't have any saying for other lectures. I can only talk for my own lecture. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It's not very professional of me to comment someone else's work.
Yeah.
I can only deliver what I want to do in here in my course. And if you have any problems with other courses, you need to talk to the lecturer of that course.
Okay, because like what I was expecting a lot from the school for the school to do something to make it easier for everyone.
Like what? Can you give me an example?
Like the kind of apps we're using, if the school can put all lecturers into one idea so that like they can make the learning things easy for students, because like students are complaining a lot. So and yesterday I was complaining too. Even today I was complaining, but after you transfer us to Zoom, it's better.
Yeah,
Because model is nothing actually. Because
definitely. I agree with you. Model is not good enough. And as you can see, I can use Zoom to communicate with you. And but I'm gonna use Moodle as well. Like right now, I'm uploading the exercise that I just solved to Moodle. So we're gonna use a couple of tools together to overcome this. Okay. So it's
okay.
not gonna be like only one tool. I'm gonna use a couple of them. And like right now, I uploaded the radio button exercise at the very bottom, and you
Yeah.
can click on it now and see my code there. Okay. Just
Okay.
for this code to work, make sure that the radio buttons that exist on your form has the same name as these ones. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay. So make
Okay.
sure that you have the same layout with the form here, kind of like the same layout, and you have the same names. Otherwise, you gotta stick to your own names. Like my radio buttons are named at Radio Visual Network Database, and if you give them any other name, you gotta stick to those names.
Yeah.
My courses are very technical. They are programming courses, so I have absolutely zero problems delivering it online, as you can see. I can
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
I have YouTube videos that support my course. I have a lot of tools in my hand, a lot of assets that I can use. For other lecturers, okay, you can suggest them. You can approach them and tell them that, look, you can use Zoom, for example, or something like this. Just go and approach them, offer them alternative approaches. Maybe they don't know, you know. Just because we are lecturers doesn't mean that I know everything. Any other questions?
Please, can you go back to the form?
According to the attendance, how is it going to be? How are you going to collect the attendance through the online?
How is what going to be? Sophie, can you please repeat? Guys,
The
when someone is
attendance.
talking, please can you stop so I can hear you one by one? Sophie, can you please talk a little bit louder?
I wanted to ask about the attendance. That's how are you going to collect it? And for the login, is it okay for us to log in without the video, or must we
When
log
you log into the, let me show you how to do that. When you log into Moodle to the conference section, I can actually see an entire list of users. I'm going to show it to you how to do that now. When I go to the Moodle page of the course, you see the video conference section, not this one. Let me just, yeah. In the Moodle, we have big blue button. This session is ended. When you join on the big blue button session on Moodle, I can take an entire list. So if you go there and join the section, where is it? Here, and join the session. There is an option there called Manage Users, and you can see it and entirely save usernames. And when I open it, you see all users are being listed there. So using this now, I can actually take your attendance, okay? It is as soon as you connect to the video conference, you can actually take the register. Also, there are people there. Can you please send them the Zoom invitation? Let me just go to the Zoom part, invite people. Invite. Copy URL. Yes. Come to Zoom, please. This is where the video conference is held. So you guys, can you please reconnect to the big blue button just for the attendance so I can take it from there? Just go there and connect, okay? So I can take the register, all right?
You should reconnect.
Yeah, just go there and connect, because from there I can, as I just show you, I can download the usernames, okay? So I can take the attendance.
Okay.
Just go and connect there. We can still use Zoom to communicate, but for the attendance, I can use the big blue button.
No, I did class.
Any other questions?
Sir, what time is the first quiz?
Umut, You have a question?
Yes.
Yes, tell us.
So one time is the first quiz.
There won't be any quizzes. Yay! I will give you an assignment instead of a quiz. Okay? I will give you give you a homework, let's say an assignment, and you will submit it online. I canceled the quizzes right now, but instead I will give you an assignment.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, please, I have something to ask.
Yes.
It was something I was working on, but I wasn't able to finish. As a calculator I was working on. So I tried doing multiple calculations, but each time I try doing it, it doesn't run.
Okay.
Oh.
So you need to go and watch the video again that I put
No.
on YouTube,
No,
because
sir, it's not.
I
It's
cannot
not.
see your screen. I wouldn't know what kind of problems you are facing.
So it's not the kind of calculator. I did that one already. I'm doing like a normal calculator. You should punch buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I did
What is your problem exactly?
like, for example, if I take 2 plus 2, it gives me 4. But if I take plus 2 again, it won't continue.
Yeah, that's could be the hard part, because you gotta consider the chain of actions. Normally, when you do a calculation, it works on a chain base, so it's like a chain of actions are being taken, and you gotta consider that every time that the plus sign is clicked, it's actually a new variable being added to it. So you need to consider that part. Doing a simple calculator is quite easy, but doing an actual calculator could be challenging, because it considers the chain of action.
Okay, so I did that. That's the only part which I was facing difficulties with.
Let me just answer some questions there. No meeting password. Just click on invite, invitation, and join the Zoom conference. Yes, tell me again.
Everything on the calculator. I don't know. So it's a button here for share screen. I don't know if I can share screen. Then you see where I am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so.
Yes. Meanwhile, any other questions?
I cannot share screen while you're still on it, sir.
Yes, that's because what you need to do, gentlemen, is maybe you can copy paste the part that you are getting the error and send it to me as an email, okay? But don't copy paste the entire code, just the part that you are getting the error, and I can look at it at a later time and reply to you, okay? Right now, I think this is more of a personal problem, and there are 27 participants here, as you can see. It's more of a your concern thing rather than anybody else's. So if you send me an email, I can look it up in my free time and get back to you. All right? Cool. Like what I said, as I said before, this is going to be a more discussion-based session, okay? I am going to follow a different approach now because of the circumstances. You know, we don't know when this is going to end. I don't know what's going on either, so I can't give you more information right now. We don't know when the university will be opened again. We don't know how long this is going to continue. Okay, right now what we know is until the 6th of April, everything is shut down, okay? So like we gotta proceed your education somehow so you don't fall back behind. If I do nothing, and if you do nothing, that means you gotta stay another year. Do you want to do that?
No.
No. So we need to find new ways to deliver you the education. And I did some research and I found Zoom, which is quite good, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I also found the big blue button with the Rimoja. We installed it and it works okay-ish in terms of taking attendance at least. So we got to use this set of tools to join together, and we're gonna take the attendance now. So make sure to join the session, and I can download all the users here. Currently, I have 29 participants in here.
I'm simply just give us some minutes to join.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Any technical problems about the course?
So did they check the radio buttons? I haven't done check buttons, so.
Tell me again.
We did the radio button. We didn't do the check button.
We can do a check button as well. Have you watched the videos though?
Yes, sir.
I think they're quite self-explanatory there. Like it explains it very good in the videos, I think. But I can solve it again. I don't have any problems. But make sure that before you come to the classes now, you watch the video. Like in the next lecture, for example, I want you to watch the multiple forms one, okay? In here, which is the 9th video. And if you don't understand anything, you come here again and you can ask me questions. Otherwise, these YouTube videos that I did will be for nothing. And I don't want to do that. I want them to be used by you, okay? So before you join to the class, make sure to watch the video and then come. And if you don't understand anything, then of course you can ask me questions. I want to take the register first, so let me download the users here. Save users. And I'm going to share this with you so you can type your student number here. So I'm going to share it with the share notes section. In the share notes section, make sure to type your number. Yeah, a lot of people are already doing it. They are typing their number there. I can see it on my screen. So, like I said, we have a lot of tools in our hands. We can still continue the education just because a global epidemic took over doesn't mean that all education must freeze. Okay, we can still continue doing this.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you say where can we type our student number? Because I can't.
You go to the shared notes section. You see shared notes. Go there and you see a list of students who are already there, and you can add your student number. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need to go home?
Right, I'm gonna copy paste this actually, now that a lot of people already typed this. I'm gonna copy paste it later.
Okay, share it. My name or my student number? Your name is not there, so you need to.
You can write your student number over there. Yeah, not in here, not in there. Please type it on shared notes section.
Type the student number. Oh, shared notes.
There's up there, you see a shared notes section. Can you see it on my screen? You
Yes, sir.
pretty much have the same screen there.
Yeah, but I'm seeing shared note, but
You see a list there, and you find your name and type it there, okay? I'm gonna solve a checkbox as well for today, and I'm gonna let you go after that. Yes. So a lot of participants in here now. I can see that more and more people are joining. That's actually quite good. I see a lot of people coming and listening to me. So that's really good. So I'm gonna go back to the Visual Studio now. And someone asked me to solve a checkbox exercise, and I'm gonna do that. So opening the Visual Studio now, I'm gonna create another project and create a checkbox exercise. So please follow it up. So we're gonna create a new exercise. Chibo, you are making a lot of background noise, so I'm gonna mute you. Please make sure that really quiet at the background. Otherwise, I'll be forced to mute you. So I'm gonna put a checkbox exercise and creating it in here. And new form application is being created. So I'm gonna go into the properties section and drag and drop it in here. And change it to checkbox exercise. In the checkbox part, you gotta be a little bit careful because a checkbox is basically a list that allows you to select a number of choices, but those choices can be multiple as well. It doesn't have to be like, you select only one. It could be like you can select multiple at once. So that is the big difference between radio button and the checkbox. Like in here now, you are allowed to select more than one choice at a time. It's like offering the choices to user and they can pick as many as they like. So I'm gonna put hobbies to do at home. And gonna make sure that this one is pick one. Yeah, so it could be quite visible. And I'm gonna drag and drop a couple of checkboxes. You can also work with the checkbox list, this one, which is like offering you a couple of choices from there, and you can select one, or you can work with the regular checkbox, whichever you find more suitable. I think I explained both of them in the videos on YouTube, so make sure to follow that up as well. So hobbies to do at home. We can actually put a couple of lists in here, like home gym. You can put video games. We can put puzzles. we can put Netflix. A couple of choices. And just because you do one, it doesn't mean that you can't do the other. Okay, so make sure to understand that part quite clearly. Just because you are doing one of them doesn't mean that you can't do the other. So once you have given this, you gotta need to name them. You gotta make sure that you have to have a name for each button, each checkbox. So this is gonna be check box gym, checkbox games. Oops. This is puzzle. And finally, Netflix. And I'm gonna follow the same kind of approach as I did with the other exercise. I'm gonna drag and drop a button. So in here, I'm gonna drag and drop a button and just gonna name it as button submit and copy paste it. It's gonna be button. So it's like button submit, button clear. I'm gonna make sure to give it a name as well. Go up. This one should be submit. This one should be clear. Let's just test this before we type the code. If it is working for us, as you can see, I see a list. I can select a bunch of them. Right now, it doesn't do anything because I haven't typed the code yet. First, I'm gonna start with the clear to make sure that when I select them, I can clear all of it. So just before you can double click on this, or you can go to the lightning icon and activate the click property. So whichever works for you. I'm gonna put on the clear part, pull the properties next to it, and then now I'm gonna make sure to type the clear statement. So I'm gonna say check box gym dot checked equals to false. Checkbox games checked false. Doesn't even matter which order you type this, like in any order you can type it. I'm just following the order of creation, but you don't have to. You can basically set up in whatever order you like. Now that will make sure that the check state is always false. So I'm gonna go into the application and run it. So I'm gonna select a couple of them and press on clear. And as you can see, it's cleared. Can you follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Is it clear up to here?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yeah,
we
it's
will
clear.
go into the part where I submit the component. So I'm gonna put a submit button here. And this time I'm gonna select one of them. So we can kind of like validate it first. Let's do a function for validation. So I'm gonna put this time I'm gonna put a validation function. I'm gonna put is validated function. And this will allow me to basically to make sure that everything is validated. So let's just put is everything valid? And by default, this is true. And I'm going to return is everything valid, which is by default if it is true. So I will only execute this, the button submit, if everything is valid. So I'm going to put if is validated, then do something. Okay. And if it is not, it's not going to work. Now, what do I want to
Is it a
type?
group chat?
No, it's private.
Ah, okay.
Right. I'm going to put the validation in there. So it's going to be like checkbox games dot checked is false. And checkbox gym dot checked is also false. So make sure to put the brackets, and it's gonna go down, and I'm gonna say something like checkbox puzzle is also false, and also checkbox Netflix is also false. So this means that if none of them are selected, I can kind of like force the user to pick up one, because I want you to have a hobby, technically. So putting the brackets here now, as you can see, I can put basically an and symbol to combine these statements, and I can even put a message here should I want to. So whenever this happens, I'm going to set up is everything valid is no longer valid. It's going to be false. And I can also show a message. I'm going to show a message box, show in here, and I'm going to display the message. Please have a hobby. Don't get bored at home. Can also put a bracket here and like add more information should you want to, like error, pick up a hobby. You can select the button types should you want to. Message buttons, just gonna put OK, and also the error type, which will allow you to select basically what kind of message you want to show. So far I'm checking the validation. So it's like if this is like working for me, if everything is okay, then show this. Otherwise, everything stays okay if it doesn't fall into this category. And when it is called in here, it will do something. So let's just try to run this thing and make sure that it runs for us before we continue further. So I'm gonna select a couple of them and press on clear. Now, when I click on this one without picking up any hobby, it says, please have a hobby. Don't get bored at home. And it's a pick up a hobby error. Do you see that? That is an error message I created. And how did I do that? I put it on here, as you can see in this part. This is the message that you are getting. Please have a hobby, don't get bored at home. I'm gonna stop it and rerun it again just to show you without clicking on anything. If you press on submit now, it will get a message. Please have a hobby, don't get bored at home. It's exactly the same message that I typed. How did I do this? Well, I am checking the state of every single button, every single checkbox that I have. If the checkboxes that are not checked, this symbol in front of the buttons means not. If it is not checked, then it means that nothing is selected yet. So just show the user to select a hobby because they cannot further continue in the program. And because I set up everything is valid at first, now I return that. And in the middle, when I find an error, I say that, okay, this is now an error for me, so stop doing whatever you are doing. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes, shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when I come back to the is validated part now, I need to make sure that the rest of the program works. So I can create something like a a string value here, just to add the hobbies, string hobbies. And initially, I'm gonna set this up to empty, which means there are no hobbies yet, okay? And it's a string value. And whenever, as you validate the fields and when this is gonna run, I'm gonna check up the state of every single one of them. I'm gonna put the checkbox games.checked, and coming down there, I'm gonna say something like hobbies plus equals to, not equals to, but plus equals to video games. Okay, you can put a comma at the end if you want to. It's up to you at this point. And we don't put else if, we put if, because you can have more than one hobby. Just because you have one doesn't mean that you can't have the other. So you can have all four, all three, or maybe one only, but you can have as many as you like. Just because you go to gym or you do home gym doesn't mean that you can't play video games or watch Netflix. So that is the difference between radio button and checkbox. In radio button, you pick up one and you stick to it, where in checkbox, it's like you can have all four, all three, or whatsoever. So this one is gonna be home gym. And I'm just gonna put a comma there. And I'm gonna put the next one. Checkbox puzzle. Checked. Hobbies puzzle. You can put a comma here as well. And finally, we can put the Netflix. So it's gonna be checkbox Netflix. Checkbox. Oops. Hobbies plus equals to Netflix. So as you can see, I am adding these. Now, when I want to show it, I can show the hobbies themselves using a message box show. So I'm gonna put it in here. And something like your hobbies are, just put whatever hobbies you have and close it. So once you have defined this with the if statements and add every single one of them, you can now show the hobbies. Let's try this. Let's see how it works. So as you can see, the program runs, and when I submit, it says have a hobby. So I'm just gonna pick up video games and home gym and press on submit, and I can see that my hobbies are video games and home gym. And I'm gonna put puzzles. Now the puzzles is added on the list. I'm gonna put Netflix. Netflix is added on the list. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Video games, home gym, puzzles, Netflix. So I'm gonna remove puzzles, video games, just keep home gym and Netflix. And it's home gym and Netflix. I'm gonna remove everything, just keep Netflix, and my hobbies are, maybe we can change the wording, but we are not doing grammar here. So it's just your hobbies are Netflix. So that's how it works, okay? And you can clear it anytime. If you press on submit again without picking up anything, it will display you an error message, just as we did before. You want me to share this?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else who wants me to share it?
Yes,
please.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right. I'm gonna go.
That's why we like you. That's why we like you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the lecture very soon. So Make sure to follow. I'm going to announce the next session probably today. Okay, follow the model very clearly, often. Now, this is the main way of our communication. Check boxes. So you need to follow up the Moodle. I'm gonna give you an assignment this week, and you gotta submit it on Moodle now, okay? And what you're gonna do is to build up a program for me, and I'll submit it on a certain time. All right. We are gonna work on an assignment based, like instead of a quiz, I'm gonna give you assignments. So you need to complete them. All right. And make a submission online, and I'm gonna check them later on, because we can't deal with this situation in any other means now. We need to be a little bit more flexible.
Are you posting the assignment on the Moodle?
Yes, I will post it within 2 days time, either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, so you can show it. And I will also keep updating this, so you will know when is the next class, okay? But I will stick to mostly to the lecture hours. So it's always on a lecture time, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Let me just upload this. You can also email to me should you get stuck in, understanding the course material. Although I'm not going to help you with the coursework or assignments, you can also always approach to me in terms of not understanding a concept.
Ongo.
Checkbox exercise.
Let me see, please.
Right, if you actually go and look up the Moodle, you will be able to see that the checkbox exercise is already there. If you refresh your page, you will see it. If you double click on it, if you open it, you'll be able to see my exercise there. Right, I'm gonna stop this session now for today, okay? Before I let you go, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Everything clear?
Yeah.
You need to make sure that to follow the Moodle and YouTube now. The YouTube videos are no longer optional, okay? You need to watch them. So the next videos that you need to watch, you need to complete all videos until the ninth one, okay? So please make sure to watch the 8th and the 9th video before you join to my class next week, okay? This is very important. I'm gonna announce, I think, another class probably within this week again, okay? Just for you to answer questions, like if you want to approach me and ask me questions. I'll try to stick, as I said, to the lecture hours, but I'm not gonna do a full lecture now because I already uploaded a lot of course material for you. There are a lot of videos that you can watch on YouTube. I offered you a lot of exercises. My slides are there already. So I am ready for this, as you can see. I can't answer for other lecturers if you cannot communicate them or if you cannot talk to them. All I can suggest to you is to encourage them to use something like Zoom, which is a very powerful software. And I'm very happy with the performance of it. I can talk to students, as you can see. I can see if they raise their hands and so forth. Right. Thank you for coming today, guys. I really appreciate it that you are dedicated to this. And when you complete this course, hopefully you'll be able to get a mark from me. So despite all these circumstances, you still gonna pass this course, hopefully. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, sir.
Thank you so much for all of
Thank
you
you.
for coming. I'm gonna announce the next online.
Thank you, sir.
class. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
sir.
See
you.
you when
Have
we
a good
hear
day.
you.
You too, sir.
All right.
Good day, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
So is there a class tomorrow or there is no class?
I will announce it. Just make sure
Okay.
to follow Moodle, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye, sir.